Okay, for our continuation, let's go with the reception learning of David Osobel. Okay? Though learners are inherently curious, they may not be able to know what is important or relevant, and they need external motivation in order to learn. Now, learners should be actively involved in their own learning. Learning is important in order to learn new things because knowledge continuously changes while it is in the learner's mind. Okay. Let's go and proceed with the events of learning by Robert Gagny. Okay. We have first the motivation phase. The learner must be motivated to learn by expectations that learning may be rewarding. Okay, again, motivation phase is when the learner must be motivated to learn by expectation that learning will be rewarding. Okay, did you get it? Now let's proceed to the second phase, which is the apprehending phase. Okay, the apprehending phase is when the learner attends or pays attention if learning has to take place. Again, apprehending phase is when the learners attends or pays attention if learning has to take place. Okay, let's go ahead with acquisition phase. Now, acquisition phase is while the learner is paying attention, the stage is set and the information presented, the learner transforms the information into meaningful form. The mental images formed associates with the new information with the old information. This is where advanced organizers are useful. Okay? Let's proceed now to the retention phase. Okay? The newly acquired information must be transferred from short-term to long-term memory. This may take place by means of practice, elaboration, or rehearsals. Okay, let's proceed with the recall phase. Now, in this phase, from the root word itself, recall. We have to recall, learners recall previous learned information. To gain access to that which has been learned is a critical phase in learning. Again, to learn to gain access to that which has been learned is a critical phase in learning. Because you are going to tackle them accordingly. Okay, let's proceed with the generalization phase. Generalization phase is when the transfer of information to new situation allows application at the learned information in the context which it was learned. Again, generalization phase is when the transfer of information to the new situation that allows application of the learned information in the context which it was learned. Now let's proceed with the last phase, which is the feedback phase. Students must receive feedback from their performance. This would serve as reinforcement to them. Okay? Now, let's have some general statements which describe learning based on the theories of learning may include the following. Okay, let's go on and tackle some general statements which describe learning based on the theories of learning. This includes learning does not take place in an empty vessel. Again, learning does not take place in an empty vessel. Each learner is assumed to have prior learning and may be able to connect this to present learning. Again, learning does not take place in an empty vessel. Each learner is assumed to have prior learning and may be able to connect this to present learning. Learning is a social process where interactions with other learners and teachers are needed. Learning as a result of individual experiences and self-activity. Learning is both observable and measurable. Learning takes place when all the senses are utilized. Okay? Learning will be enhanced when the learner is stimulated, directed, guided, and feedback is immediately given. Each learner has his or her own learning styles. Okay. Evidently, teaching and learning go together. Now, how does teaching and learning connect to each other? Okay? As a teacher, or a teacher cannot claim he or she has taught if the learners have not learned substantially. The teaching styles of the teacher should jibe with the learner's style or with the learner's learning styles. Again, the strategy or the various strategies that is imposed by the teacher should correlate with the learner's learning styles. Okay? Now, those are the things that we are intended to learn this morning. Okay, as a recap, we learned that the two most important aspects in facilitating learning is, of course, the teacher and the learners. So as well as the environment or the learning environment. We also learned the different theories of Bandura's, Thorndike's, Pavlov's, as well as the different theories by Jerome Bruner's, Robert Gagné, and David Osobel as well. We also learned what is reflection process, learning process, and of course, the teaching process. Now that you have learned this information, I'd like you, for your assignment, I'd like you to make a reflection or a poem, a 10-line poem that reflects about our today's discussion, the teaching and learning in the curriculum development. What is meant by efficient teaching? So those things that will relate to your poem. Now, okay? Do you understand my activity? Now, for your assignment, I'd like you to have a poem, a 10-line poem that relates about our today's discussion, which is the teaching and learning process in the curriculum development. Okay? Okay, that is the end of our discussion this morning. Now, thank you so much for your attention, for your time watching my video. Okay? Now, before I'd like to end, I'd like to thank God for this beautiful morning today, for giving me the opportunity to shoot and be successful in my video. Now, I'm hoping forward that you will watch my other videos as well. Thank you so much and have a blessed morning, each and everyone. God bless us all. Thank you.